Alright, so one wisdom from the Rebbe for today. So this week's Parsha speaks about Yaakov and Esav meeting together, where Esav had come with 400 men in order to try to attack Yaakov. But in truth, afterwards, they finished talking, and Esav went on his way. Says Rashi then, when it says he went on his way, it must mean that he went on his own, as his 400 men had slipped away with him one by one, and they were actually rewarded for this in the times of David, where it says that 400 of the men escaped. Now, seemingly, it's not understood. Where does Rashi get the idea that they ran away one by one from? And why is it relevant that they ran away one by one? So the explanation is that these people, and as well as Esav himself, actually still had a big hatred for Yaakov. And that's what we see by Yaakov, that he kept on saying the idea that he was afraid of Esav, attacking him later on. As he said that he's not going to tell him where he's really going to a real destination, he'll say Seir, which is going to talk about the times of Mashiach. So too it says that he didn't really hug and kiss him with his whole heart, according to one explanation. Or according to the explanation, it was his whole heart, but it was only this time, as later on he still hated him. And this is the idea here too, that these men and Esav himself really still fully hated Yaakov. If so, why didn't Esav at that moment attack Yaakov? It must be that he didn't have the manpower. And that's why Rashi says it must be that the 400 men weren't with him, because otherwise Esav would have attacked Yaakov in that very moment as well. And that's the idea over here as well, why Rashi brings the idea of David HaMelech's men over here in the discussion. As what happened by David HaMelech was that 400 of the men who were his opponents, who hated him or were against him, were able to be saved. And that's showing you here as well that these 400 men actually were against Yaakov Avinu. They still hated him and really would attack him, but they slipped away one by one because they were still afraid of Esav. They were still under Esav, but were able to run away. And this is also the idea of Yutas Kislev, which Parshas Vayishlch always blesses Yutas Kislev. As in Yutas Kislev, we see the idea of purifying the enemies. As Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, who revealed the Pnimis Torah originally said, that you're allowed to annoy and fight with the enemies in this world, because even when they're being successful, Torah has the strength to be able to overcome them. So too with the Chassidus. It doesn't matter where a person is holding, when you throw yourself into Chassidus, you can fight anything, and you can always come out winning. L'chaim, l'chaim.